I would like to go ahead and call to order the special call meeting of the Bluegrass Governing Board of Local Elected Officials. And this is May 20th, 2025. And it's great to see everybody online and in person. And I'm going to ask Robin if she'll call the roll of board members, staff, guests, so we know who all's here.
Okay. I'm just gonna go down my list. Mayor Linda Gordon, here. Judge Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Kay,
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Taylor. Okay.
Here.
He's always doing
My eyesight,
business.
sorry. Judge Hamilton,
Here.
Judge Bottom,
Here.
Judge Watson,
Here.
Judge Mueller,
Present.
Judge Marshall,
Here.
Judge Adams,
Here.
Judge Steele,
Here.
Judge Covington. I'm gonna stand that he's there. Yep. Jeremy Hurd,
Present.
Rolanda Thacker,
Here.
Tiffany Reeves. Here. Todd Blanton,
Here.
Kevin Moore,
Here.
Stacy May.
Here.
David Dudlinger,
Here.
Jennifer Hayes,
Here.
Hannah Gregory,
Here.
Rachel Adams,
Here.
Paula Mosley,
I'm here.
Amy Glasscock.
Here.
Is there anyone else whose name I didn't call? Okay, good. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you very much. I think with your roll call, we do have our quorum,
Yes.
which is 9, correct?
Yes.
So we do have a quorum. Thank you all. And we have, as you know, several action items. And so we're going to just kind of roll through them. And I hope that you all received the updated agenda that I believe was sent yesterday, correct? So our first, pardon me? Saturday, okay. So our first item is approval of the interlocal agreement. And Tiffany is going to walk us through that, and I think it's about the same as it used to be, isn't it?
It is. The interlocal agreement establishes the collaborative framework for administrating the workforce development programs through a designated area. On December 10th of 2024, we sent out an initial survey to see if there was any requested changes in the current interlocal. A follow-up email was sent on January 22nd. There was no issues or suggested changes that were received in the response. The only updates to the interlocal is the agreement duration, which resets the date range from 6/1/2020 with the expiration date of 6/30/2025 to 7/1/2025 through 6/30/2030. And then in section 2CV, the Director of Workforce Employment Services was updated to Division Director for the Department of Workforce. And then on section 17, the word investment was changed to innovation, which was also approved by the Department of Workforce. That's the only changes in the interlocal, just updating dates and verbiage.
So what I would like to do is entertain a motion and a second to approve this, and then we'll have discussion. So do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Right, and is there a second?
Second.
All right, now, are there questions, comments, changes? Anything at all? Okay, I do not see any. So I'll ask for a vote then. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. And I will welcome Judge West, who's joined us. Thank you very much. Good to see you. So moving right along, we have our nomination and election of members for the executive committee of the governing board of the LEOs. And Stacy is going to, I presume,
They'll walk us through it.
walk us through it and have a list. Do you have a list of the new members?
Really.
Okay,
So-
they are, I'm sorry, they are handing out, I believe Jeremy's maybe handing out the tablets. We're gonna do a vote, also online, I suppose.
Can you read the record, the list of members on for the election?
Absolutely. Just one moment and let me pull that
They've
back
already
up.
got tablets. Already gave them tablets.
Okay. The list
I don't.
is,
No.
Judge West was going with it even.
okay,
Okay, so we're good.
She's, for the one of us who doesn't get to vote, who doesn't see the list,
Yes.
Stacy's gonna read the list.
yes. It is set up, for those, that will be taking the survey, it will show you those that are in bold italics have expressed an interest in serving on the executive committee. If it is not in bold italics, those names did not say either way whether or not they would be interested. So we put their name in just in case they are and just didn't get the opportunity. The list of names include Judge Adams, Judge Barnes, Judge Bottoms, Judge Elman, Judge Gritton, Judge Hamilton, Judge Kay, Judge Marshall, Judge Mueller, Judge Steele, Judge Taylor, Judge Watson, Judge Williams, and Judge Yates. And that's just for the executive committee. For the Co-CLEO, would you like me to read that separately in a moment, or would you like me to do that now?
Oh, you could just go ahead now. We'll get it all over with.
Okay. For positions of Co-CLEO, it's labeled the same way. If their name is in bold or italic, it shows that they did express an interest in serving as Co-CLEO. If they did not tell us that they did not want to serve, so we wanted to include their names there also. That list includes Judge Adams, Judge Barnes, Judge Bottoms, Judge Elman, Judge Gritton, Judge Hamilton, Judge Marshall, Judge Mueller, Judge Steele, Judge Taylor, Judge Watson, and Judge Yates.
Thank you so much, Stacy, for reading the names. So let's go back and
For those,
yeah, go ahead.
for those online, Stacy, can you put the link for the survey in the chat?
Absolutely. I will do that right now.
I have, someone can use it. Oh, this one's still. Since I just have anybody. Oh, can you get a Judge West?
Judge West is the one that gave that link.
Okay, so everyone should be voting.
Correct.
For
Yes.
the,
If you are attending online, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you're attending online, the link to the voting is now in the chat. So please answer those. I believe there's a total of 2, possibly 3 questions. And we will.
So on the first question, you'll pick 6. On the second, you'll pick 1. The first is for the executive committee. The second question is for the Co-CLEO.
And Madam Chair, if I could, this is Judge Kay. I will remove my name from the voting list. I appreciate that being included, but there are too many other good judges on there.
oh, okay.
Can't rightly take a vote away from them.
Thank you, Judge Kay. Oh. Okay. You still need a little more time, or has everyone?
How many total judges do we have present that will be voting today? I just want to make sure I don't delay everybody once everybody's entered. And I don't want to rush anyone.
12?
12.
12 voting? Okay, thank you.
It's something to do with that European unit. It's the aliens coming. You gotta watch Tour of the World. Yeah, that long road list.
Okay, how are we doing?
We got it, Stacy?
We are missing 3 if there are 12 people voting.
We still have a couple people.
2 more.
working. Okay.
1 more.
Oh, the countdown has begun.
Oh, we've gotten everyone. Just 1 moment and I will share those responses.
All right.
Would you like them displayed on screen or do you want me to send the information for you to announce? That's completely up to you.
You'll send it to my phone.
Oh.
Or just read it on screen.
It's fine with me. I think everybody will appreciate you just reading it out, and then it'll be in the minutes, I presume. Is that
Okay.
correct?
I shared them with Tiff. We have a total, I don't know if I can rank them. Let me see. Judge Adams received 7 votes. Judge Barnes received 11. Judge Bottoms also received 11. Judge Williams, 11. Judge Watson, 9. And Judge Steele, 9. I believe, is that a total of 6 that I've delivered? I did send Tiff the information.
So those were the 6.
That would be 6. Those are the 6.
Executive committee.
Okay. So will you read them one more time?
Again,
I'm
that's
gonna have to read one more.
Adams, Barnes, Bottoms, Steele, Watson, and Williams are the 6 receiving the highest votes. They are also the
Okay.
ones that noted that they would be the most interested in serving.
All right, very good. Now, do we need to vote to accept them, or? Yes, we do. Okay, could I have a motion to accept these 6 judges? All right, Judge Hamilton, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second. Is there any comment? All those in favor of acceptance of these 6 judges to serve as members of the executive committee of the governing board of LEOs, please say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Congratulations to our 6 executive committee members. And then next we'll have the election for co-chief elected official, fondly known as Co-CLEO, right, Judge Williams?
Yes.
And you've heard and seen the list, and have folks already voted?
They should have.
Did everybody already vote, Stacy?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And the result of that is Judge Steele with 6 out of the 12 votes. The other were spread across one here and one there. So the majority of votes went to Judge Steele.
All right, well, I will entertain a motion to accept Judge Steele as our. Thank you, Judge Williams. Judge West seconds. Any comments? Yes.
Just to update on something. And for those that are the newly to the executive committee and the new Co-CLEO, you all won't assume your roles until the next meeting, which is the joint training meeting, which is September 10th.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, all those in favor of the election of Judge Sarah Steele from Mercer County as the new Co-CLEO. Please say aye. Did everybody vote aye? I heard 3. If you will, yeah, we need everybody to say it out loud and have your face on the screen, if you don't mind. Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Hi, Mayor.
Hey, how are you, Reagan? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Anyone opposed? That motion passes. Thank you so much. Judge Steele, welcome aboard. And
Thank you.
congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right. Next, we have approval of the local plan, and I'll ask Tiffany to lead us through that, and then we'll need a motion.
Under WIOA law, every 4 years, the local areas have to do a local and a regional plan. We work with our BG WID to complete the local plan. During the month of March, the BG WID approved it, and we held a town hall. Stacy, when was our 30-day? We had a 30-day public comment period, and then we had our virtual town hall also in March. There were no comments, no concerns, no changes requested. So it has currently been sent to the KWIB for review. So, and it's just for you all to vote on. And the regional plan's the same way. With the regional plan, we work with South Lincoln Trail and Northern Kentucky for the region.
Very
One
good.
and the same.
All right, and I will entertain a motion to approve the Bluegrass local plan.
Motion to approve.
Q, is there a second? We have a motion and a second. So are there any comments on the plan, the motion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Now, we're ready for the regional plan,
Yeah.
and I'll look to Tiffany again.
And just as I stated, every 4 years, we have to redo the local and the regional plan. With our regional plan, we partner, our region is Lincoln Trail in Northern Kentucky. We also do the 30-day comment period. We did the virtual town hall, no comments, no concerns. So it was submitted to the KWIB for their review as well, just to vote for approval.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve regional plan.
Q, is there a second?
Second.
Right. Now, any questions, comments? Anything at all? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you. That passes. And Tiffany also is going to lead us through the direct service provider designation.
We had to put out for direct service provider, or RFP. We received back 2 very good proposals, one from Career Team, one from Equus. Equus is our current DSP. They have been since, I think, 7 years now. The RFP review panel was our board chair, John Daughtery, our board treasurer, Matt Montgomery, and judge executive Trilly Bottoms that reviewed. They made the choice of Equus. It was good discussion. Both offered good services, but Equus came in at a lower bid, and the services are good that we received. Judge Bottoms, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I agree. We looked at it and when we sized up both vendors, both companies, and And we decided, that Equus is what we have currently. They're doing a good job. It's, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And then the fact that they came in less on their quote than the other company kind of just pushed them ahead to the top for us.
Very good. Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to approve Equus as our direct service provider. If I can
I make
have
that motion.
All right,
I'll second.
and Judge Williams seconds. All right, now, is there discussion? No discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. And Tiffany, you're getting a workout
I
today.
know.
One-stop shop operator.
The one-stop operator is one and the same. It was connected with the DSP. Again, John Daughtery, Matt Montgomery, Judge Bottoms, interviewing both. They made the choice to stay with Equus.
Okay. All right, given that, I'll entertain a motion to approve Equus as the one-stop operator. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Okay, everybody pointed one down. Was it you, Judge West?
Yes.
All right, very good. Now, is there any discussion of the motion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. And Judge Bottoms, thank you. Now,
My pleasure.
guys, Tiffany's going to get a break here for a minute. We have approval of the Memorandum of Understanding Infrastructure Funding Agreement, and Todd will lead us through that.
So our current MOU and IFA expired in 2024, and since that time, the state has sent us out a new kind of draft template for the IFA budget and the MOU. All required partners that are supposed to be located within the Career Center walls, either through direct linkage, being on site, or electronically, are required to sign that MOU and IFA. So we're required to submit a draft to the state by May the 27th. And once we have that draft approved by the state, our external and internal partners here will sign those. We could have chosen several different ways. The biggest thing with those is how to determine the infrastructure cost. The partners that we have here with the state are already broken down by square footage. Our partners that are not co-located with here in the building, we do have space that they can use. So we split that usable space up between the 6 or 7 external partners. So that's kind of how to break down what we use for determining it. But it will ultimately go for the state for a draft approval, and then our partners will sign.
Quarterly reconciliation.
And each quarter, Colin and Michael will work with our partners to determine if those costs that are associated with running the center are on track to be what they're supposed to be. If not, there'll be a reconciliation period each quarter.
Okay, very good. I believe we need a motion to approve this, and I'll entertain a motion to approve. Anyone?
Make the motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Judge Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Right, now, any questions, comments? Anything for Todd? All right, well, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you, that passes. Oh, we're having some thunder. Okay, we're going quick now. Next, we have our minutes from the previous CLEO meeting of 12/18/24. And you all have a copy of those, and I'll entertain a motion by one of our Leos to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Thank you, Judge West. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. We do have a motion and a second, and is there any discussion or any corrections or additions to the minutes? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Anything? All right, all those in favor of approval, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? Thank you, that passes. And then we have approval of the finance reports, November, December, January, and I believe Colin will run us through that.
Have to. At the end of November 2024, our overall budget was about 40% expended. We were at 30% in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 39%, and that was 39% in the prior year. Then our admin, or our adult expenditures were 50% to the end of November, and that compares to 29% in the prior year. Our dislocated worker program expenditures were 27% compared to 22% in the prior year. Our youth expenditures were 36%, and that compares to 32% in the prior year. And then at the end of November, our work experience on our youth program, we were at 7% of that total 20% requirement that we have. And then the last little part there is just showing you how our DSP invoicing and payment has been handled. So the October Equus invoice was received on the 19th of November, and you can see the few steps there that ultimately got them paid on December the 6th. And then there was November Equus invoice was received on December 12th, and then they were ultimately paid January 13th of 2025. And if you scroll through to the end of the November report, you'll see where our grant balances were. That report shows, it's really colorful. That's the one that shows what grants are still active at that time and what was the balance remaining on those.
All right, Colin, thank you very much.
Any questions about that?
So let's have our motion and then we'll have questions and discussion. Could I have a motion to approve the November, December, January finance reports?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor Gordon, that was just so fair. Would you like me to run through December and January
Yeah,
as well?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's do them all at once.
All at once, okay? All right. Well, I will skip on ahead to December, and, for December, our overall budget, we were 46% expended. That compares to 36% in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 47%, compared to 40% in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were 56% compared to 22% in the prior year. Dislocated worker program was 32% compared to 29% in the prior year. Our youth expenditures were 43% compared to 38% in the prior year. And then we were 8% on the work experience. And then I won't rehash November's Equus. December Equus invoice was received on the 14th. We received notice of payment from the state on the 28th. And the final verdict on that one is on the January invoice. So that December invoice, we ultimately got that paid to Equus on January 31st. That was for the December Equus invoice. And then, so for the January finance report, at the end of January, we were at 52% expended compared to 43% in the prior year. Our admin costs were 53% compared to 57% in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were 62% compared to 27% in the prior year. Dislocated worker program was 37% compared to 33% in the prior year. And our youth expenditures were 48% compared to 44% the prior year. And then at that point, we had been, at the end of January, we met the 20% threshold for that youth program funding on the work experience. Then the January Equus invoice was received on the 12th of February, and actually don't have the information in front of me, but that was paid within 45 days. It was probably like, I think that one in particular was like 35 or something. But if anybody has any questions about any of those 3 months, I'd be happy to. So,
Colin, is I kept hearing lower percentage of expenditures for the dislocated workers. Is that a seasonal thing? Or is that, and Tiffany, maybe better to answer that, is dislocated, can you remind us the definition?
A dislocated worker is an individual who's lost their job through no fault of their own.
Or layoff?
Yes, layoff, things like that, yes. So that's what that is. I don't know which numbers you're talking about being
Well,
different.
the percentage of expenditures for each month was low, and even last year, they were low, right?
yeah, so Tim, what he's getting at is,
In January, or December, January, we're both in the 30s still.
yeah,
But we're halfway through the year.
Okay, so
Is
none
that
of,
normal?
yes, because none of the funds that we have, that we're currently working with exhaust until 2026. So we always try to have a little bit of carryover so that a whole lot of the local areas will spend every bit of their funds and then they're not able to provide services. So at Bluegrass, we've always tried to have that little bit of carryover so that we can. So we're on track because like this is where we didn't have the meeting in March, right? You're getting November, December, and January. Whenever we have our next meeting and you all see February, March, and April, you will see that we are caught up and we are right on track where we need to be.
Okay. What is normal?
Yeah.
And that's September, years ago,
Mhm.
it's gonna keep that.
Yes.
Okay.
What other questions are there for Colin? Anything at all on this report? It's a big report. And I guess I'll just note that to Judge Williams' question, so this is dislocated worker smaller than the rest because you have fewer dislocated workers than the rest of the categories, or why is it lower than the other categories?
Because that's the ones that, it is that we've had less dislocated workers
Okay,
come
that's-
in, request training and things like that, which is a good thing, right? Personally, from a workforce standpoint, if we have a ton of dislocated workers, it means we've got a whole lot of layoffs and our economy's not doing very good.
That's the problem.
So there's a bigger problem with it, so yes.
Well, those people that are calling Reagan Taylor and Richmond,
Oh.
Yes,
they're gonna come under that category, all those folks at the depot
yes, we'll come under
will
that.
fall in that category.
Yes, yes.
All right, any other questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve all three of these?
I'll make a motion to approve Colin's report all 3 months.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
See Judge Taylor up there. All right, seconds. All right, any further questions? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Right, thank you very much. And since we're on finance, if I could ask a different question, nothing about this.
Sure.
Do you, in terms of, all of our communities are looking at federal grants and potential cuts, is there anything we need to be concerned about here with that, or do we know?
We don't know. I would love to say that everything's gonna be fine, like in my head, which in my head's muddy sometimes, but a push with the current administration is apprenticeship, work-based learning and all that, right, with the current federal administration. Bluegrass already does that. Right? The state has a wonderful apprenticeship program, the state of Kentucky. Now, if it gets cut at the federal level, yes, that's gonna trickle down some. But there have been other times that we've learned how to do the same amount of services with less money and keep rolling. So that's what I hope we adjust to.
Do we know, how much of our grant money is purely federal?
100%
Is
as we
100%?
always.
So is all of that vulnerable potentially?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
But workforce programs have been around since 1962. Again, I go back to the fact, even with the Trump administration, it is about apprenticeship. It's about the skilled trades. That's what we do in Kentucky. So,
And I don't know, if anybody's looked at I think the budget passed out of the House committee, maybe, the federal. Does anybody know if there's anything about the workforce in it that's a cut, proposed cut? I haven't seen that.
there's a little bit that's cut to the adult funds.
Okay.
Job Corps was completely cut as far as we owe a youth. I want to think that there was a 3.7% cut to we owe a youth funding. And on the dislocated worker, I know there was a cut, but not billions, maybe a couple million, if that makes sense.
So if these cuts, I'm just trying to, within my budget, we're trying to figure out how to make up, if we get cut where we think we're gonna cut, what then do we do if we get these cuts? Do we just go in and adjust our budget and, what do we?
To start out, we would have to, but we're already trying to figure out other ways that we can partner with other organizations and things like that, because I've always said, when someone comes into the Career Center, it's because something's happened in their life that they've lost employment or they need better employment, right? So it's our job to figure out how we can partner with other organizations to where we spend the least amount anyway. WIOA is the last avenue of funding that should be spent. There's a whole lot of what ifs. And we can worry about that a whole lot. We all should be concerned with it. But, until we see what Doge is doing for sure.
Oh, I agree. I know in, my budget, we've gone through and identified everything that may be cut. And then we've prioritized it. So we know what we can live without, and what we can't live without. I just was wondering how, I understand that we can't know till we know.
Right.
But, and I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I just was wondering if we are far enough along to have a plan. And I guess we'll be forced to do that when we find out what's been cut. Right. So,
Workforce, I assume is approved in the continuing resolutions in Congress. Right, so this, but who knows how the budget will work? I can't even remember which fiscal year they're working on now.
it's is it fiscal
Is it
year
26?
26?
Yeah.
So, and there is a continuing resolution to continue, so the money that Colin reports on is approved in the continuing resolutions, right? Those are for each cabinet, those are the fundamental services that cabinet provides. What cabinet is it? Federal labor department.
Yeah, and all the funds that I've just reported on are the funds that expire June 30th, 2026. And we did receive, our planning numbers from the state for the following year that would expire on the, June 30th, 2027. And so that's what we're operating on at this point in time.
Okay.
Even if the even if the budget doesn't pass, which is possible, 3 years since they passed the budget, the continuing resolution approves that money. already.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, well,
I would assume so.
That's my understanding of it.
time will reveal all.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? Okay, this brings us to informational item, and Tiffany has one.
Yeah. The Kentucky Career Center that was located in Scott County, the partners there at the time, the state held the lease, CDO held the lease, and Todd, correct me if I'm wrong on this. CDO, OBR, and WIOA services were offered there. Whenever CDO looked at their budget, it was one of the things that they wanted to cut. They came to us and OBR to see if we could take on that lease. We were unable to with our current budget. OBR also was unable to with their current budget. So that facility closed. However, as far as WIOA services go, we are working with the Scott County Library to be there twice a month. And also the BTCT Georgetown campus, to be there in their adult ed section then. So, and here's the thing with it, we get more fruit out of the libraries. When we go to the libraries, we have people walk up, it's not, regardless, our buildings are federal buildings, and people aren't always happy whenever they have to come into a state building or anything like that. So I'm excited. I do hope that we will, because Scott County, we didn't get a lot of traffic there for Scott County.
Our average on the month and walk-ins were about 50 to sometimes 60 people a month. So you're talking, not even 10 people a week, or just over 10. And a lot of those were appointments for people walking in, still looking for the unemployment office. So.
Yeah. So it's not that Scott County's not gonna get coverage, it's gonna be the same as any other local counties that we have that don't have brick and mortars. We're gonna be in the libraries and all the other partnering agencies that we can. That's it.
Okay, does anyone have questions about that?
That leaves Fayette, Madison, Boyle, and Center.
Yeah.
All right,
But the services are available in all
Yes.
counties.
Yes.
yes.
And we're still getting.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to clarify, I'm not sure, did we get a full approval on the finance reports? Because I know there were some questions and I think they may have stopped. The questions may have come
Yes.
up in the middle of voting.
We got a new vote at the end of it. Yeah.
Okay,
thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
All righty. What were you saying?
I was saying, we're still getting referrals,
Mhm.
we're getting referrals from those counties.
Okay,
Still contacting people and setting up appointments.
good, because I think it's the service that is important. Okay. Our next meeting is our joint meeting, September 10th at 9:00. And is there another item of business?
I gotta look at my calendars.
This one is late because it was supposed to be March,
Yeah,
so we will have one.
We're figuring out, I believe another Leo meeting, is that?
yeah, because the reason that we had this one so late is because it should have been in March and we couldn't establish quorum. So we had to do a special call because we had so many things. Now I'm looking on my calendar right now, so I can't remember.
Third week of June.
Sorry, we didn't have that on here. We should have had it on here.
So when is it scheduled?
June 25th at 10:30. You all should have it already on your calendar. We just forgot to leave it
Okay,
here.
this is the next.
Yep.
Leo.
Yep.
Meeting.
Yep.
Is June the 25th at 10:30, right here. correct, at the perimeter drive. And then we have our,
Fortune.
oh, mine's this,
Oh, no, you know
is it
what?
someplace else?
No, it'll be at the ad that day because they have the ad
It's the
executive
ad.
meeting as
So we're
well.
at the ad, I think, aren't we?
Yes.
On
Yeah.
that day, yes, because they have a ad executive meeting.
Okay, so
That's
at
on the 25th, is it?
25th of June, the Leo meeting is at the ad and at 10:30? Okay. And then on September 10th at 9 o'clock is the joint meeting
In Berea,
in Berea.
at the new event and conference center that they have, it used to be the Mitchell Toll Gallery.
Okay,
They've completely redone it, so it's gonna be.
okay.
That's when now.
Pardon me, September 10th,
It'll be at Maria.
yes. And you'll send out
Yeah.
detailed
Yes.
information about that.
Yeah.
All right, you know, that brings us to adjournment, but we cannot adjourn yet because I want to give a great big, thank you to Judge Mike Williams. He and I have been sidekicks in this adventure of Co-CLEO. And you have done a wonderful job. And when I had these terrible conflicts, you filled in for me. And I've always appreciated your thoughtfulness about the issues and your willingness to speak up. And, I know that you'll be on the executive committee, but it won't be the same. So I thank you very much. And
Thank you.
let's give him a hand. His leadership has been wonderful. So,
Certainly been my pleasure, obviously, to be associated with you in any way. I honor and respect you in every way, as I do all of the elected officials that are part of this organization. I can't imagine what we do without the Grass Area Development District and our opportunity to be a part of it and to make decisions on behalf of the region. That's what we're all about, for sure.
it is. Thank you very much. If there's nothing else for the good of the whole, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We've got a few. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good to see you all. Thank you. We are adjourned.